There's a lot of people that are under the assumption that your happiness and your ability to create your life through manifestation and stuff like that. A lot of people are under the assumption that all of your creation processes, your manifestation, you manifest your life, you create what you want. It's all on you. It's all on you to do this. But they're wrong. Are you ready to hear why I'm going to expose this, right? I'm not saying that they're 100% wrong. I'm saying they've only got half the story. How in the hell is it possible for a man to create something by himself? Totally by himself. And people go, they do it all the time, man. Men create by themselves all the time. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Men get inspired by something. All right? Men become inspired by something. Or there's something that they want, or there's something that they're passionate about that inspires what it is that they create. So let's say that you're Jace Jacobs, right? Every single poem that he created was not purely out of his mind. He was inspired by something to write down an overflow of passion. So this is not for everyone. This stream is only for the few, the proud, and the elite. The people who show up and listen to even 5 seconds of this stream are at least halfway awake, all right? You have to be at least halfway awake and halfway enlightened to even know who I even am, all right? I'm just going to lay it down for you. So this is not for everybody. So if you're one of the 5 or the 6 or whoever many people who show up to this thing, this message is for you because you have a great destiny. And how do I know that you have a great destiny? Because Rant Jams has a great destiny. Because I have a great destiny. Okay? Men by themselves cannot find happiness. Why? Because men by themselves have a purpose. You have a purpose. I know this makes a lot of people angry. A lot of people who are hyper spiritual are going to be mad at me about this, right? But men have purpose. It's not enough for you to sit on your ass and just sit there and do nothing if you're a man. If you don't follow your God-given, I said the G word. If you don't follow your universe, whatever religion you have, even if you think you're God, if you don't follow your purpose, you will not be happy as a man. Okay? End of story. You have to be inspired by something. All right? You really do. And last time I checked, even if you think you're God, whoever the spiritual guru is that's saying this kind of stuff, it took 2 people to create you. All right? I'm just going to go ahead and burst that bubble. It took two people to do it. You didn't masturbate yourself into existence. Okay? You didn't masturbate yourself into existence. So therefore, you've got to acknowledge in your life that it's not enough to just masturbate your way to your purpose. All right? How many people did I lose there? Men cannot masturbate their way to their purpose and find their happiness that way because you were born out of 2 people. You're not just here because you're bored. All right? I know this is crazy. But you're here because you have a higher purpose. And even if I'm just a bump on your road, I'm a thought that you had. I didn't come up with any of this by myself. All right? I didn't come up with any of this by myself. And neither did you, right? That was a collaboration that required more than one person. You didn't just go live and talk to yourself, although sometimes it sounds like that's what I'm doing. All right, so the reality of this whole thing about individuals who they're just going to do what makes them happy. This is especially true for men, All right. This is especially true for men. It's not enough to sit back and masturbate while playing Fortnite. If that makes you happy, if that's your journey, man, then go for it. No, I mean, that's probably not your purpose. I don't think there's anybody in my live chat that's their purpose. I don't think so. Right? If you have kids, how could you possibly think that everything in this world, right, comes out of just you? Because A, you either had to have been impregnated by an outside force, or you had to put something on someone else. Because you can't impregnate yourself. Not even woke, not even hyper communist, feminist, all the way to the extreme, right? With sperm donors, all that. It still takes two to make a thing go right and all of this. But it is absolutely a fact that you couldn't have sex with yourself and produce yourself. That's a fact. And that burst the bubble of a lot of people. Burst the bubble of a lot of people, right? A lot of people don't like that idea because they want, especially men, they want to control their lives. They want to be in complete control of all of their feelings and emotions. They want the world to revolve around them, which it probably does. And we could talk about that another time. But the truth of the matter is, until they put it on someone else, they ain't creating anything worth creating. Only things worth creating are things that you create together. End of story. The only thing that drives my ability to make something good has to do with to the extent to which I'm inspired. But to be deeply satisfied, it takes a little bit more. It takes that, for me, it takes that I'm aligned with my purpose. Purpose is like the fuel for my fun, all right? As soon as I start doing something to the point where I'm doing it and I'm not having fun, it's probably because it's like I'm doing it religiously without concern of any sort of purpose. You can't be hanging with rant champs, even for I left a like and I gotta go. You can't even do that without being awesome. Because it means that somewhere in your psyche, somewhere deep down in your soul, there's somebody as awesome or more awesome than me ready to come out. You've got to be at least halfway woke. Now, I'm not talking woke in the whatever, Joe Biden way. I'm talking about you got to be halfway awake to something awesome to be here. But remember that you don't have to just filter me out. You can teach me something. Weak people filter out people they don't like. Strong people learn from them. Because I guarantee you, if you just filter out the people you don't like all the time, that same person's going to come back around with another name, and you're going to have to keep relearning that over and over and over again. You're going to be constantly dodging the bullet until eventually you learn that lesson. Because it takes two to learn something. You need a talker and you need a listener. You need a feedback loop. We have to work together if we want to make anything meaningful in our lives. If we want to do something with real purpose, we got to do it together. I'm going to start looking for and building a community of people that have an attention span longer than 15 seconds. So there might have been a few people that showed up in this live chat that typically only watch something for 15 seconds. They get off and then they continue. They get here for 15 seconds of rant jams. And they're all done. You know what I mean? I want to go out and find some people who are real people. Let's go find some real people. Some people who will really listen. It doesn't mean that they have to agree with you. It doesn't mean they have to vote for the same person. It doesn't mean that they have to have the same religion. I'm talking about some people who are really ready to go the distance and listen to the people that are in their own lives. How about that? I think it's time, man. I think it's time that we bring together a group of people who are capable of handling and learning from each other and spending more than 15 seconds. Don't judge me. Ooh. You can't do it yourself. You can't create. Life does not exist from the creation of just you. At least biologically. I'm not talking about monotheistic Christianity. And And honestly, there's a triad there and all that. I'm talking about like you had a mother, you had a father. You didn't create yourself. So when you go out to create, there has to be at least two. There has to be at least two, man. You just has to be. I believe in you guys. I believe in you so much that you showed up. I manifested you, man. Manifest. It's the law of attraction, guys. It's the law of attraction. You guys are attracted to Rant Jams because you're awesome. Rant Jams is attracted to you because you guys teach Rant Jams something awesome. But the law of attraction takes two. The law of attraction takes two. All right? The law of attraction says you can't have sex with yourself. That's what it says. I'm not talking about the secret book, movie, or whatever. I'm talking about life. Men will kill themselves before they have sex with themselves 100% because men need purpose. And if you're a man and you're depressed, it means that you're not letting your purpose be the focal point of your life. Instead, you're trying to do it all alone. You're trying to go in alone. And all of these spiritual people that are halfway woke that I know, and some of you guys are fully woke, man. I mean, I'm not talking like awake. I'm not talking about the other stuff. I'm not talking about, did you vote for Biden or not? I'm talking about like some of you guys are fully awake. I believe that. But there is no doubt in my mind that your dance with reality is a dance. And you're not just dancing with yourself like Billy Idol. I'm a dancing with myself. Although sometimes they can feel that way, right? It takes two to create. You can't do the law of attraction simply by sitting there on your ass and masturbating to Fortnite. Well, maybe if you do it to Fortnite, you can. But you can't just sit there in a dark room and manifest your life and create something. Because as a man, you've got to have what they call inspiration. You've got to have a spark. You have to have something that drives you, a purpose. You've got to have direction. Because if you just sit in a dark room and just manifest things randomly, it's going to bring chaos into your life. You're going to have chaos. Luckily for most of us, we do have somebody on the outside. Or you can call it your higher self if you want. But I'm going to call it God because it's true. You know what I mean? You have someone out there looking out for you like a parent that keeps you from destroying yourself. And that person has come back over and over and over again and reminded you subtly, and this is especially true for men, that the reason why all of that spiritual crap isn't working for you is because you're not taking it for what it really is. As a man, what it means is you have to know your purpose. You've got to be on ball with that. And if your purpose is to have babies, right? But it's going to take two. It's going to take two people. You can't do it by yourself. There wasn't just some dude in the woods somewhere meditating all this chaos into being, right? It didn't happen that way. The truth of the matter is that we all exist to learn from each other. Drama. Drama. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why do we have drama in our lives? Because we refuse to see the truth, or because drama brings out what's real. When you're hit with hard life lessons, right? Those life lessons will bring out the truth of the situation, right? But when someone dies, or when you have, you're about ready to lose your job, you find out who you really are. You dig deep, and when you dig deep, sometimes it brings out the best in us. Like, I think I was saying this earlier, like Stephen Hawking, right? Stephen Hawking's condition brought out the best in Stephen Hawking. Wouldn't you say that? And it's really hard to understand why there's pain and suffering in the world, right? It really is hard to understand. And there's a lot of bad things that happen. But sometimes through these trials, we come out better. And it's hard to understand. It's because it's not about how much pain and suffering we can endure until later. This is a transformation. Life is a transformation. It's not just about waiting out the pain and suffering. It's not about just manifesting your reality or whatever, but it's a transformative process, and it can be painful. But, just because we go through things like this, it doesn't mean that the answer is to hide and manifest your reality by yourself. We can do this together. Derek Williams has a job, but his real job is his purpose. That's true about everybody. That's true about everybody. You go to work at Walmart, you might think that if you're working at Walmart, you might think that your real job is to stock groceries. But it's not likely that that's your purpose. There might be something there that you're supposed to learn to aid you on your journey. So yeah, your purpose isn't always your job, but sometimes your job and purpose come together. And there's a lot of things that I've said that have made people angry over the years, probably political stuff or religious stuff or whatever it is, right? But a lot of the reasons why I brought a lot of that stuff up in the past had to do with we need to challenge each other on these things sometimes. Every once in a while, we need to actually talk this out as rational people. It's not enough for us to just go into a dark room and go, I'm going to believe whatever I want to believe. And then, because it takes two. To work out a conflict, it always takes two. And the biggest conflicts in your lives are worked out through your kids. The big ones, the massive ones, the ones that are like overarching in your entire life. Your kids work out those conflicts. So it's important that you put your family first too, but it takes two. Life continues that way. If you believe in the Bible and you believe in Adam and Eve, you could say that every person that was born after Adam and Eve was to resolve that original sin conflict. Even if you don't believe that as the word of God or whatever and all that stuff, the mythology of that still holds true. Every person born in this life has the potential to help resolve a conflict if they can just talk. If they can just get together and talk it out or create things together. That's how you resolve the conflict. That's how you do it. You got to listen for more than 15 seconds. If you guys teach me one thing, every single thing that I do with that lesson and every single person I come in contact after you will all be influenced by that ripple effect. Even if you influence one person and get one view on a video, if that person turns around and does something awesome, or if that person turns around and influences 100 other people, and then that 100 other people influence 100 people, and then that 100 people influences 100 people, that one view could actually be worth an infinite number of views. And that's all I'm going to say about that.